Welcome back to Pixie Dust and Petals. I'm your host, Tamina, and today I want to talk about chocolate chip cookies. So I want to start off, first of all, saying that the reason why I wanted to do this podcast was to talk about the hard stuff. Now, chocolate chip cookies probably doesn't sound like hard stuff to you, but let me just tell you my story and you'll understand where I'm coming from with all of this. So this morning I woke up and we knew what the forecast was. We knew it was going to be windy. We knew there was going to be rain. There's a possibility of snow, which is really disheartening when it's the middle of May and all we want to do is be outside, do our yard work, scratch around in the dirt, get our pots ready for all the flowers for the summer, go down to our greenhouse, get all the pretties and bring them back and just play in our yards. But this spring has made it really, really hard with the weather, and a lot of us are just really antsy about getting out and at it. So this morning I woke up, and yes, the forecast was correct. The weather is horrible. It is yucky. The wind is ridiculous. And I decided that what I wanted to do this morning was make chocolate chip cookies. Now you're thinking that's probably a normal thing if you're stuck in the house and all that, but that was very unusual for me. Now when the kids were little, I made chocolate chip cookies all the time, and mostly it was because when they got off the bus, it was the reaction that I got from the chocolate chip cookies was my main drive to make these. They'd come in the house and they would say, "Mom, did you make cookies? Oh my gosh." Then I'd pour that cold glass of milk and they would sit down and eat their cookies and drink their milk. And just to see the joy on their face was the reason. Now, fast forward as the years went on, I made less and less cookies. I'm actually allergic to chocolate chip cookies. I still love the smell of them. And when I make them for my people and the reactions I get from them because they love them so much. So this morning, making chocolate chip cookies was unusual for me because I only make them on the days that I mentally feel really good and really pumped and good about myself. And those days are getting to be more and more and more. Because back up, I don't know how many years ago, if I woke up on a dismal day like today, first I would look outside and then I'd think, oh, what am I going to do today? And already I can feel the doom and gloom from outside now coming in and settling in on my brain. Plod along and I'd probably do laundry and I'd clean a little bit, but not a very immaculate clean, just kind of making things tidy and, doing the things that I have to do and hope that tomorrow is a brighter day so I can get outside and do the things I want to do. So the really big step I found in making my cookies this morning was my mental state. So I have been working a lot on myself, and I think you guys know that. And when I talk about wanting to talk about the hard stuff with you guys, I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do that. Because I've told you I've been taking psychology classes. I've also told you I'll never be a psychologist. I'll never get those letters behind my name. And I never want to claim that I am a therapist in any way because I'm not. And I struggle because I want to talk to you guys because I've learned so much over the years. So much. And I want to share it with you guys so that you can have a better life. But at the same time, I'm like, well, what's your credibility? Where's the letters behind your name? Did you even finish university? All the things. And so then I kind of get stuck thinking, oh no, I don't have the credibility. But then this morning I thought, well, what the heck? I do have the credibility. I have lived the life. I have come so far in so many relationships that it's just made my life turn in a whole 360. Like this morning, getting up on a dreary day and instead of just blogging away and just being bogging away and being like, yuck, 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 I thought, what if I make chocolate chip cookies? Because I know my husband is home this morning. He can't be farming. And he was working away on the computer, doing the things, getting caught up because he's been outside on the farm, putting in the crops this last couple of weeks. And he was working away and he didn't even notice what I was doing until he turned around and he could smell something. And I baked him chocolate chip cookies. And I bake these cookies because I know how much he loves them. And he also knows that we kind of have a joke about the cookies because I make the cookies. He eats the cookies. He tries to eat all the cookies right away. And, we're trying to eat a little bit healthier. And cookies may not be the biggest health food there is, but I believe everything in moderation. So I will bake the cookies, and now I've actually come out to the cabin. I've left him in the house with the cookies, unattended. I'm pretty sure they're not all going to be there when I get back, but hopefully most of them are. But what I do is I hide them. I hide them in different things. I'll put them in a margarine container in the freezer, or maybe like a used pizza box, and I'll put that back in the freezer with cookies in it. Otherwise, he'll go in there, and my cookies are big, like we're talking like big cookies. And he'll go in there and he'll take like whatever his hands can hold. It's like 5 cookies, and he walks out the door. And I'm like, that is way too much sugar. So I stopped, I don't make cookies very often until I got smart. And now I hide them on him. And he has a harder time eating more than whatever I leave out for him, or tell him what container to look in next, or whatever that looks like. So anyway, we kind of have a joke. So this morning I'm like, he's home. I know he'd love to have a chocolate chip cookie, so why don't I make them? So I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole here. So my point in making the cookies this morning was that I have done so much work in so many areas of my life that making cookies has been really hard for me. And today it was really easy because of all the obstacles that I've been working through and, doing the work on to just have a better life, that they're not coming into my life like dark clouds. Like when the dark clouds are outside, that seems to invite the dark clouds in my brain. So the cool thing is with all the work I'm doing with therapy and all the studying I'm doing and all the reading I'm doing and all the, experiences I'm living and all the rest of it, is my dark clouds are getting to be less and less and less. And this morning I woke up with dark clouds outside, but I didn't feel the dark clouds in here, which allowed me to make cookies, which, like I say, is super easy. It doesn't take a long time to make cookies. But for some reason before, when my brain was so heavy with all the stuff or all the conversations or all the heaviness going on in my life, that it was really, really hard for me to make cookies. And I think some of you can relate to this possibly, that when your brain, when we have so much going on in our brain and it is so hard to slog through it, that the simplest task is really, really hard. And so that's my credibility I want to talk about, is that I've had some really, really hard days that doing the simplest task has been almost impossible. So I want to talk about how to move through things. What are the resources? How do we move on? And this isn't, I've had a lot of relationships that have taught me a lot and gotten me to where I am today. And the ones that have taught me the most have been the most difficult relationships, like the relationships that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But yet I've had them, I worked through them, and I've gotten past them. And those relationships that have been really dark clouds have been dissipating. And so that I can wake up this morning and still feel sunshine in my brain to go make the cookies and have the smile and feel like, oh my gosh, this is a good day. So I hope that's making sense to you guys. I'm not sure how I want to, broach talking about all the hard things, but I do want to talk about the hard things, because what if me talking about my hard thing, you can relate to it. I can tell you what my resource was, the book I read, maybe something online, and you guys can go find that to maybe help yourself work through the hard things as well too. And making the chocolate chip cookies in your life, whatever that looks like, gets easier and easier until you're like, wow, should I make a second batch? And that was my choice. Should I make blueberry scones, or should I go outside and talk about chocolate chip cookies? And I decided the scones can wait for another day. Scones, again, I haven't made in a couple of years because, oh my gosh, it's so hard. It's not hard. It was hard getting this to quiet down, to get past the clouds, to bake the scones that actually are very, very easy. So this morning I'm like, well, if you don't make them now, and I'm like, yeah, I could probably make them tomorrow, because they're not going to take me very long. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. So I'm still figuring out how I'm going to do this. I've been listening to lots of YouTube videos to figure out, how to get your messages across, how to talk to people. And I even have like the formats that I printed out, like you talk like, do this and do all these steps. Well, I'm going to be a little bit of a spoiler, guys. I'm going to try to follow the steps, but I am horrible at following the steps. I get excited about what I want to talk to you guys about. I go down a rabbit hole. I come back up and I don't always know where I was, but I'm going to continue on anyway. So a couple things I wanted to tell you was I'm on Facebook, and that's where a lot of you guys have found me. And on Facebook, I will tell you guys when there's a new podcast, when there's a new meditation coming up, and little things like that. And I also have Instagram. So Instagram is Pixie Dust and Petals, but there's a dot behind every word, like pixie dot dust dot and dot petals. And on Instagram, it's going to be the same. It'll be notifying people when I have a new podcast up or a new meditation. But on Instagram, what I do on my special page is I follow a lot of psychologists. And the psychologists I follow talk about the hard stuff. And every day I go onto my Instagram for, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And I go through all the shorts, the stories, the reels that, I guess they're called reels, the reels that a lot of psychologists have on. And a lot of them mean a lot to me and they really resonate. And if they do, then I share them. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see my page littered with a bunch of other psychologists talking about, some of the tricks, some of the tools, some of the things. I think my very favorite one is called the Pocket Psychologist. She's from Australia, and she'll tell you in under, I think, 60 seconds, something really valuable to take into your day. So anyway, so I'm on Instagram, and that's what you're going to find there. I'm on Facebook, but my podcasts themselves will be right here on YouTube. And I love when you guys comment down here below. I love, love, love that. It makes my day. And like I say, I'm going to just keep on keeping on. I can't tell you what I'm going to talk about next. And I'm hoping to be able to find ways to talk about the really hard stuff and how I got through it, because I feel my story, even if it helped one person in some small way or big way, that's all I really want. If I can just talk to, like, whoever's listening, if I can just talk to you directly and something makes a difference to you, then that's my goal has been accomplished. So anyway, that's all I have to say for now. It is kind of a yucky day still. My husband's talking about going for a drive, probably for parts for the farm, but I'm probably, if I hop in the truck with him, probably get a meal out of it. Wouldn't have to cook. So anyway, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you guys go and continue enjoying my day, even though it's dreary, even though it's rainy, really windy, and possibility of snow. It's just temporary. It's just like, even though there's clouds and all that, the sun is still back behind there, and the clouds always go away. And that's kind of our thoughts. Our thoughts are the clouds. And the more we can quiet down our thoughts, the sunnier we can keep things up here. Okay, guys. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of your day, and love you all so very, very much. Okay, bye now.